Gaining a Singapore permanent residency status is not an easy task for many, and the risk of losing the status because you're not aware of how the renewal works can be pretty disappointing. As a Singapore permanent resident, it is essential for you to understand the renewal requirements, the potential challenges that you may face, and practical strategies on how to ensure the longevity of your PR status. In today's episode, we will touch on a very important topic for many current and future PRs, which is how to maintain your Singapore PR status. Hello, welcome back to our channel. It's me, Elena, the co-founder and managing director of the Immigration People. We specialize in helping expats from around the world sink their roots in Singapore in the most seamless way possible. And this is the channel where you can get sound advice and insights into Singapore immigration matters. Let's dive right into today's topic by starting off with the requirements for PR renewal. Every Singapore PR will receive this 5-year re-entry permit, which allows you to travel in and out of Singapore freely while maintaining your status as a PR. You can renew your re-entry permit at least 3 months before its expiry date, and you must submit the renewal application online on ICA's website. While the renewal process may be straightforward and simple, a rejection can still occur when you have not met the renewal criteria or when there is a perceived lack of commitment to Singapore. Based on experience, I can say that there are some underlying renewal conditions that a Singapore PR must consider beforehand. And these includes, number 1, your residency period in Singapore. Number 2, demonstrating consistent economic contributions to the country. And number 3, abiding by the laws and regulations of Singapore. For example, if you have just gotten your Singapore PR and for some personal reasons you have to live overseas for most of the time out of these 5 years, you may face certain problems when renewing your re-entry permit, either a rejection or getting a renewal for less than 5 years. On the point of consistent economic contributions, Singapore values individuals who can actively contribute to its economy and society. When renewing your re-entry permit, showcasing your economic contributions, such as having a stable employment in the country, business activities, or even investments, can help to demonstrate your commitment as a Singapore PR. Last but not least, good conduct and adherence to the country's legal framework are equally crucial for maintaining your PR status. Any involvement in illegal activities or serious offences will jeopardize not just your PR renewal, but also your entire PR status. As a Singapore PR, spending prolonged periods of time overseas can jeopardize your PR status. The ICA requires all Singapore PRs to maintain a genuine and substantial connection to Singapore. If you are overseas for an extended period of time, it may raise questions about your commitments and contributions to the country. On top of that, you want to ensure a timely renewal of your re-entry permit while you are still in Singapore. Because if you travel with an expired re-entry permit, or if your re-entry permit expires when you are outside of Singapore, this means you have lost your Singapore PR status. And now, let us talk about the essence of today's episode, the part that you've been watching this entire episode for, which is the 4 essential tips on how to maintain and retain your status as a Singapore PR. Tip number 1, fulfill residency requirements. To ensure a successful renewal of your re-entry permit, ensure that you are physically present and residing in Singapore most of the time, with your 4th year and 5th year being the most crucial. Tip number 2, renew your re-entry permit timely. As mentioned earlier, the re-entry permit is an extremely important document because that retains your status as a Singapore PR while you are travelling abroad. On a daily basis, we receive a lot of inquiries from existing PRs who are at the brink of losing their PR status because their re-entry permit is just going to expire a few days away and they are presently not in Singapore. While in such circumstances, there's really not much we can do as much as we would like to help them. So, keep track of your re-entry permit validity and renew it way before it expires. Do not wait till the last minute. Tip number 3, your contributions to Singapore's economy and society. Now this tip is really simple. What ICE really wants to see is that you are gainfully employed by a Singapore registered entity physically here in Singapore at the time of renewal. Usually, we recommend applicants to be gainfully employed for at least 1 year here in Singapore before the renewal of their re-entry permit. Last but not least, tip number 4, which is to cultivate strong ties with Singapore. While this last tip is not a hard requirement, it is something that we always highly recommend, which is to foster strong connections and relationships with your fellow Singaporean colleagues, friends, and local community. This is to enrich your experience as a Singapore permanent resident and help you prepare for your future citizenship application if that's your end goal. And there you have it, your 4 tips for maintaining your Singapore PR status. Remember, it is essential that you fulfill all the renewal requirements and ensure that you renew your re-entry permit in a timely manner. Now, by doing so, you have a very good chance of maintaining your Singapore PR status for years to come and also prepare yourself for citizenship application in the future. If you found this episode to be helpful, do give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends who may find this piece of information helpful. If you have any questions or any topics that you would like us to discuss in future episodes, do leave us a comment in the comment section below. Now click on the subscribe button if you haven't done so, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!